Welcome back, guys. Today we're gonna be doing a little tips and tricks video on how to install your seat covers correctly. Stay tuned. If you're not wanting the extra lumbar support, you can go ahead and remove it inside this zipper right here. Unzip the zipper and remove the lumbar support. Today I'm gonna be showing you guys how to install the top section of your front seat, giving you guys a little bit of tips and tricks on how you can get it down when it's a little bit tighter of a fit. That's mainly gonna be on things like Rams or even some F-150s. They do have slightly bigger seats. So the first big tip is obviously to just make sure that your zipper is unzipped. And then what you really gotta do is just put it on a little bit. And then the big tip is just gonna be, you gotta really kind of work it down. And this one, as you can see, it takes a little bit to really get it down there. And then what I like to do is we'll come around back here. All right, so once you have it shimmied down pretty well, what I like to do is come up here to my buttons, and then as you notice, they don't necessarily fully line up with the actual headrest peg. So what we have to really do, because that means we didn't put it on centered, is really kind of just adjust it and then kind of push these underneath like this. And then we'll do the same thing on here. So it takes a little bit of a little wiggle room, and the goal is to tuck it underneath that plastic there. So it should look something like this, and then you can really then go around front and readjust it. So once we have it, tucked underneath our plastic there, it's gonna be a little bit easier to readjust it and get it down more on the seat. Then what we can do is also take our two wheels and put them through the crease. That's gonna allow you to get it down more as well, as that's gonna hold it into the crease. The next thing you can really do to help get it down is, because of these hard plastics on the side, you're actually gonna wanna tuck it in there. It's gonna make it not only look better, but allow you to get it down more if need be. Now, these are just a semi-universal seat cover, so it doesn't necessarily fit 100% perfect, but as you can see, with a little bit of extra tucking, you can make it look almost like reupholstery. So now that that's tucked in, we can do the same thing on the inside and then come around back to zip that zipper. All right, now that we've tucked it into the plastic here, the last step that we need to do is simply zip that barn door. And depending on how big your seats are, like on a TRX, you might have to actually pull this together and then zip, depending on how big it is. But a lot of times, after use of the seat covers for about a week, maybe two, it allows you to then readjust the seat as need be. You can really pull on these corners here and adjust it down to get it down as much as possible. And then, over time, you'll be able to readjust it, and then it will fit on better to your specific seat. If your seat has some small creases in it like this, you can use a hot rag or a steamer and rub them out. All right, now for this side straps here, your vehicle might allow you to tuck it in naturally without using these side straps. If that's okay, you can do that. You can still use these side straps to give it more security. For these side straps, we're gonna be sticking this in between the plastic and the actual seat. You can either do this with the zip tie coming through like this, sticking it all the way under the seat. Otherwise, another tip you can do is simply drag it up to the front and go like this. Now, what we're gonna be doing is taking our straps and actually going through the side straps like this. That's gonna hold this side in. We're gonna do that with the inside as well. Depending on the type of vehicle that you have, you might have a felt backing right here where you can't actually see the crease yet. What you're gonna go ahead and do is reach underneath. There should be strapped on. There could be a zipper depending on the type of vehicle you have as well. Elastic strap should look like this. You'll unhook those and then fold this up. Now you can see the crease of the seat. I'll readjust my wheels to make sure that they lay flat so they can't come back through the crease. Then whenever you want to access your fold down cup holder, you can simply undo the Velcro on both sides and fold that item down. It should look like this, and then access your cup holder. All right, on most SUVs, you're gonna be popping it just straight up by pulling like this, and it should pop out. You might have to pull pretty hard. Now, there might be an SUV, depending on the vehicle that you have, that there's a little tab that you have to push to the side. We'll insert a little clip on how to do that. Most sedans either have a system where you pull straight up and then it will naturally pop out. You will have to pull pretty hard, but you'll want to feel along the crease here, and you'll see that some of them have a little tab that you have to pull. So I'm gonna pull it to the side here, and then it easily comes up. You see this tab right here. All right, so if your back seat is bolted down, we're gonna be taking a 14mm wrench and unscrewing it like this. I've actually already done it here. Then all you'll need to do is lift up your back seat like this, and then you'll be able to install it freely. Let's get that started. Now, before we get started on here, I just wanna show you a little tip and trick for folding up either your 60 or 40 section here on your back seat. What you can do, seeing that it is attached via Velcro, you simply stick your hand in, go like this, and you will have to kind of push this over. So I honestly recommend folding this back a little bit while you do it, like so. And then you can actually fold up this your 40 section to flip that up. You could do vice versa on the 60 section. In fact, it'd be a little bit easier to fold up the 60 section, because you can simply undo this and then fold it up. There you go. You're all set with flipping your 60 and 40 section.